And welcome back. We are at the sunset of Suez in Omen Exitio, plague. So last time we decided on friendship instead of knowledge. And I'm scared of doing that. I feel like maybe I should have tried harder to get that diary from the bastard guy that stole it, but we didn't do that, so I don't know. We'll see. Suez is an incredible sight, the canal glimmering in the sunlight as if it were beset with precious stones, the shores crowded with boats of every possible kind, flying all sorts of flags. Despite being a British protectorate, the city seems to glory in its cosmopolitan nature, deserving its fame as the crossroads of the Western world. I mean, yeah, true. Suez Canal is real important. You know, if a ship were to just... if a ship were to suddenly just get stuck in a canal... Your senses are struck by the smells and colors of the bazaar, floating around all of the stands, covered in goods you've never before seen. You become a willing captive to Suez's charm and uniqueness. You walk the... I'm scared. This place is like seeming nice and stuff. You become a willing captive to Suez's charm and uniqueness. You walk the crowded streets and enjoy the lively, cheerful atmosphere of the city's twisting alleyways. Is this going to be one of those instances where it's like, oh, look at all the wonderful things, and then we see the disease? I think so. You eat the meal you've purchased, a kind of local sandwich whose name you can't really remember. You find it tasty, although a bit too spicy. We are British. You savor the simplest details, the carefree children running from house to house, the street vendors loudly extolling their goods, the bizarrely shaped antiques whose prices make you doubt their authenticity. You spend the remainder of the day resting in your cabin, and when you look out to the docks again, the sunset is already painting the famous canal gold. Raising your eyes to the pier, you observe how it is now completely free of the afternoon's hustle and bustle, an almost romantic sight. Captain Smith is waiting for you. He's lighting a match for his pipe, and the sky's soft orange shades glow together before you. Right in time for the sunset, Huntington. Another day is over. Yeah, just trying to get through the days. Smith greets you with an unnatural smile, even though you can't remember a time when you saw him smile at all. Walk with me. The streets of Suez look completely different now without sailors and merchants around. You nod and decide to follow him. After all, you're not allowed to disobey the order of a commanding officer, although a terrible uneasiness claws at your heart when you're in the presence of Smith. You'll never forget Scott's screams and his face clenching in pain. Yeah. To think that once all of this was nothing but a small province of the Egyptian rule. Indeed. The captain's words bring you back into the moment as you watch him puzzled. Don't look at me like that, Huntington. Do you think my entire life revolves around the army? I have my own interests. History was always fascinating to me, even as a child. Okay. His demeanor is worrying you more and more, and you're uncertain as to how you should answer him. Just let him talk. Let him talk, man. You just look at him keenly, trying to read anything from his expressions, but the captain shows no emotion at all, simply breathing in another puff from his pipe, his face illuminated by a small lump of smoldering tobacco. Then he resumes talking in a calm, steady tone, which cuts like a knife. The Egyptians had extremely advanced medical knowledge. They were experimenters and innovators. Okay. You can't understand what the captain may be aiming at with this bizarre history lesson, but you choose to let him go on, in order to not upset him even more. Yeah, that's probably the right thing to do. After all, he's recently lost a son. Maybe this is his way of coping. Maybe. You're an innovator too, aren't you, Huntington? I don't know if I like where this conversation is going, and a shiver runs down my spine. You freeze, allowing the captain to take a couple of steps further. You're going to open your mouth and stop this nonsense when I have understood you perfectly. Oh. Whoa, no. No, please no. Smith's pipe hits... Why did every decision I make is wrong? Smith's pipe hits the ground, making you flinch. Your brief dismay is enough for the captain to turn on his heels, drawing his gun with the ease of a true professional. You would be fascinated if its barrel weren't pointed straight at your head. You're working for someone. Who is it? Who wanted to take my son's life? Oh, no, I'm sorry. Smith is beside himself, incapable of accepting Scott's death, eager to lash out at anyone for the cruel demise of his innocent child. Pity that someone is you. I can't. There's no possible way I can fight him off. Please? Shit. Is this where I die? Smith, I know that you're suffering, but you're a soldier, goddammit. You know the price of every battle, and fighting a disease like this is like waging a war, with no idea which weapons will be effective. Oh, goddamn! Oh, well, okay. At least he just pistol whipped me. I mean, I'd say that's a lot better than getting shot. I'd rather not be hit at all. You know, I'm already hurt. I keep getting hurt. I was just healthy. It was just okay. I'd fixed up my shit. Blinding. Anyway, he pistol whipped us on the left temple and blinding us for a couple of seconds. The captain isn't even looking around, as if he didn't care about the potential consequences of his actions. Oh! You realize that right now the captain is well past any rational thought, and he could actually kill you, so you lunge at him and manage to snatch the gun from his hands. Smith attacks you, going for the throat like a rabid dog, and you are forced to fire at your captain. With a surge of pity, you look at the insane despair etched on the corpse in front of you. The shot rang out through the entire port, but nobody seems to have heard it. With no witnesses, you should be able to safely report the captain's disappearance. Still, you know you cannot leave him there like that. You bind his body with some heavy chains you find lying about, as you tell yourself again and again that you had no choice. In a profound silence, you throw the captain's corpse into the sea, saying your final goodbye with a military salute. You're disheartened as you keep trying to justify your actions to yourself. Smith was beside himself, but perhaps you could have saved him, somehow bringing him back to reason. I know what I have to do, but I don't know if I'm strong enough. You could neither help Scott nor soothe his father's rage. Horrified, you contemplate how little an effort it took for you to end the captain's life and get rid of his body. You cross the port again, ghost-like, unable to stop thinking about Smith. You wish you could remember him as you knew him. A hard man, stubborn even, but always fair. However, you cannot shake the image of his eyes, filled with hatred, rage, and pain. You climb the plank, troubled by such thoughts, boarding the ship alone. A long journey back to London awaits you. Great. Oh, homecoming. What is this? What did I get? I'm still slightly hurt. I'd like to not be hurt, please, if you don't mind. I was doing really well here, and then things kind of took a turn, and now I'm failing fucking everything. I'm failing everything. God damn it. The only things that we pass are the completely unimportant ones. It's how the story's gone for us. That is the thing of choose your own adventure, like stories. It goes where it goes, and you just have to accept it. You can't cheat at it, even though I've totally done that before. You can't do it. The long journey is over, and in front of you lies London. Fumes rise from the chimneys of the houses, filling the sky with a grayish air that tastes like home. The bitter smell of the city streets, large, efficient factories, the scuttle of horses on the cobbles. You're finally back, and it seems like the city wants to welcome you, embracing you like an exile coming back from a long adventure. I'm so happy. What does the map look like? Oh my god, that's all of London right there. I don't like this. The music, it's real good, but god, it's real, it gets in your head. You take a carriage and you enjoy every single moment of it on the way home. The Victorian houses offer a spectacular uninterrupted view, an endless celebration of the greatness of this English city. The nostalgia and melancholy you felt during the last weeks finally become joy and happiness in viewing all the streets and monuments you've loved your whole life. When the carriage stops in front of your house, you are drawn to watch it as it pulls away. It's been so long since you last saw one. It seems different, maybe bigger. You try to embrace reality, entering the house and exploring every corner as if it were the first time you've been there. You can't help but ask yourself what it's going to be like renewing old habits. Oh yeah, there's the room. Yet, whilst climbing the stairs, painful memories resurface with each step you take. It feels like you're suddenly in one of those nightmares that haunted you in Africa. You stop at the room's edge, your body is paralyzed with panic and hesitation. You'll never forget that in the very room your beloved Helen took her last breath. Let's do it. You sit on the bed. You didn't find the cure for the... What did we do? What did we accomplish by going to Africa? What did we do? We met a weird man, and then we had everything stolen from us, and all of our friends died. That's what fucking happened. You sit on the bed. You didn't find the cure for the disease, no matter how much time you spent reading in the laboratory, or how much help you received from esteemed colleagues and friends. It was the biggest failure of your career and the most painful experience of your life. You can't fail again. This strange African disease has already killed several people, and you couldn't do anything to save them, but you have no intention of giving up. No matter the cost, this time you will defeat the disease. You owe it to Helen. Oh! The doorbell rings. You leave these thoughts for a moment and go downstairs to open the door. You wonder how anyone might have known of your return so soon. It's odd. Oh. Whilst going downstairs, you see a figure through the frosted glass of the front door. You approach the door, and despite the blurriness, you recognize the person waiting there. Is it I thought it would be? I had a feeling that Meyer was going to follow us. It's Meyer! Are you Nyarlathotep? Is it okay to ask that? You hesitate, but you decide to open the door. With a polite greeting, the German asks to enter your house, and you can hardly refuse him. Oh, maybe he's just a vampire. The man looks around with curiosity, examining your furniture, and then asks to sit down in the living room. You agree to his request, since this is apparently an ordinary courtesy call, although you notice the suitcase Meyer has with him. Meyer sits down as he continues to examine your furniture, as if he were actually interested in you as a person. The man leaves his suitcase near the armchair and crosses his arms in front of him with unnerving calm before deciding to speak. Okay. If he, offers a job and stuff, I think we're gonna go with it. Because he was, wanting us to study disease before. I know he's evil, and I know he's also German. But it just, I feel like it makes sense. Alright, Mr. Huntington, it's a pleasure to see you after so long. Last time I saw you, you were fighting viciously, and I have to admit, I doubted you would have made it out of I doubted you would have made it out alive from that village. You are shocked, and watch him with your eyes wide open with a stunned face. Was Meyer there during the fight at Mkwawa's village? He notices your expression, and barely smiles. Glad to be wrong. Fuck, just let him. We want you to study the disease for us. We have a common goal. We would like to find a cure too, and we were sure you were the man with the necessary skills and motivation to find it. I think I will say yes, if there's a choice to do so. If it's not just an automatic, this is where the story's going. Your thoughts turn to Helen and to her agony. If you had had help, if someone like Meyer had reached you 1 year ago, offering support, you might have done something to save her. Oh my god! The man picks up the suitcase beside him and places it in front of you, opening it with some theatrics. You remain speechless, seeing the contents. Money. More money than you've ever seen before. I would like, in my lifetime, to see a suitcase full of money. It doesn't have to be a whole lot of money. It doesn't have to be hundreds or nothing. It could be ones. Just a suitcase full of ones. No, fuck it. A suitcase full of Monopoly dollars. I want to see a suitcase full of Monopoly dollars, and I just want to, feel it in my hands, you know? I just feel like that would be fun. This is to let you carry on your research in a satisfying way. I hope it's enough to convince you of our good intentions. I'll take it. They've taken everything from me. That doesn't interest me, though. It was kind of my expectation that, the thief and stuff was Meyer. He seemed weird. I mean, he was the weird person we met, so it made sense to me that maybe he was stealing. But it wouldn't make sense, because if he really wants us to study this disease, why would he have taken that diary from us? Unless, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if we have enough information yet. Once again, your thoughts wander among several questions. Wasn't this what you wanted? With all that money, you could start 1, 2, maybe even 5 simultaneous research projects to study the disease and defeat it as soon as possible. How many lives could you save? On the other hand, you don't know Meyer. You know nothing about the organization he belongs to. The man seems elusive and very careful in regard to disclosing information. You don't know whether he is trying to cheat you or what he wants in return for such generous economic help. I'm gonna accept it, because I don't know what the fuck we're gonna do if we refuse. Like, if we refuse, what is our plan exactly? It's presumably a disease coming from Africa, and we just left Africa. So what, we gonna, like, walk back there ourselves, try to study it there in person? I don't know. I'm gonna accept it. You decide to accept Meyer's offer. There are many peculiarities that surround the German and the people he represents, but his motive seems noble. I'm gonna put some real asterisks on that word, it seems. Moreover, with this money, you can start your research right away. You could even find a cure quickly and defeat the African disease. Well, maybe. You'll see us soon, Mr. Huntington. We will want to know the developments of our investment. Oh, of course. That's where it all goes right down the shitter. We don't make any progress, and he's like, well, I'm gonna have to break your kneecaps then. Oh well. After having said goodbye by raising his hat, Meyer heads to the end of the street. When you can no longer see him, you get back into your house, closing the door behind you. Back in the living room, you glimpse the suitcase, swallowing your nerves. You wonder whether it was a good idea to accept his offer. Economic aid. Yeah, maybe this is the turnaround we needed. Maybe there was a lot of red going on, and we needed some green in our life. Some German green. I'm gonna continue neglecting fighting. I'm gonna do it. Anytime they ask me to fight, I'm gonna fail at it. I'm just gonna accept that. Because I can't keep putting my points into every single thing. If I keep spreading this around, I'm never gonna pass anything. I know it. I'm certain of it. The encounter with Meyer has left you full of doubts and uncertainty. You know nothing about the interests of the people he works for, except for the fact that they too are looking for a cure for the African disease. You feel dazed, and you need some time to think about it, but you also need rest. This music's getting real loud. You go upstairs, trying to ignore the knot in your stomach as soon as you enter the bedroom. You reach the bed and let go of your worries, exhausted and hoping to sleep immediately. I'm gonna turn you down, music. You're a bit too... Oh, I've already turned you down so much, though. That's better, sure. It was becoming a bit too much for me. But your hopes are soon denied by bitter insomnia, of course. You stare at the ceiling. Well, hang on. Maybe insomnia is better. Do we really want more nightmares? You stare at the ceiling and toss and turn beneath the bedsheets. While you dwell on the past few weeks, you enlisted and went to Zanzibar, escaping the demons that haunted you, but you found new ones over the course of the journey. One in particular seems to have invaded both your mind and your nightmares, the disease. A new opponent has unexpectedly entered the game. He awaits your next move on a chessboard whose pieces represent the lives of the innocent. You grab a pawn and feel as if you are ready to take them on and challenge the disease, but who can tell whose king will fall first? I don't know. I'm going to get another one. These have been short chapters. Dear London. Globe Road, London. Though a short time has lapsed since your return, it nonetheless seems like a strange, distant dream. Your house is deafeningly silent. Can we, get some friends or something? Everybody I know has died. The only person I know is Meyer, who I believe to be Nyarlathotep, possibly. With only the occasional muffled sound from the world outside penetrating the wall. But in your ears, there are echoes of gunfire and shrill screaming. The screams of injured soldiers and pestilent dying men. Since you returned, you have felt an unshakable fatigue, a small conflict, a strange epidemic, and a long voyage. Over the past month, your body is justified in demanding convalescence. However, rest alone will not help extirpate the memory of Zanzibar from your conscious and unconscious dream, or unconscious mind. Confronting this disease seems your only option to keep your mind busy. I know medicine. I do the medicine. I have pretty good medicine. Don't fucking tell me my medicine's not good enough, you piece of shit. You go through to the bookshelves in your study and glance at the titles of the books. You decide to follow a hunch. You take from the shelves all the publications which mention or describe the means of transmission of diseases. Okay, that's cool. What am I gonna get next? My observation is kind of lagging. Speechcraft as well. I think it'll be either observation or speechcraft. Maybe. We'll see. You skip from one book to another. This disease is unconventional, but only in its behavior, or not only in its behavior, but also in the way it seems to spread. As you're going through your notes and comparing them to various known, yet unusual diseases, you realize that it appears to have selective patterns of transmission. Too selective. The only conclusion you are able to draw from this is that the disease spreads as if via someone's deliberate intervention, someone who chose where and to whom it would spread. This thought troubles your mind greatly, until at last you are overcome by tiredness and you fall asleep. Slowly, trying not to spill the tea which you have already put on the tray, you finish preparing your breakfast. Lifting it carefully, you walk to the stairs and start to ascend. You get to the landing and stop suddenly in your tracks when you realize that you have made breakfast for two. Aww. That's sad. Raising your gaze to your bedroom door, you recognize the scene of your reoccurring nightmare. You feel like you know exactly what will happen once you enter the room. You feel queasy and, not wishing to even face such mental anguish, you turn and start to head down the stairs. Oh. The moment you take the first step, you notice something under your feet, something dark. Looking down, you cannot help but let the tray fall and its contents shatter. There's a river of blood running down the steps. Oh. I hope we're dreaming. You turn back to your bedroom door to see that the blood is coming from there, streaming under it. Then you hear a rough and distorted voice trying to say something. It is your name. With a scream, you are suddenly awake. You are sitting, your breathing is heavy, and your heart is racing. Your blankets are bunched up and damp with sweat. Once again, you have dreamt of Helen, suffering from the disease which you encountered in Africa. We said originally that Helen died from some different disease, but it feels really very much like she died of the disease. Because it's like similar symptoms, and now it's like, I don't know, maybe it's just like it's taking over his memories and like associating the symptoms of the disease, the bad disease, with whatever she had. I don't know. I'm not sure about that. The sense of guilt in your subconscious is playing cruel tricks on you. Bastard! You think back to the interminable hours you spent at the university library, eyes strained and bloodshot by the dim paraffin light of the reading rooms. Never a hint. The nature of the disease that killed your wife continued to be a mystery long after her death. When Helen died, you had wanted to die too. You even planned it out and decided on the scientifically best method, poison. Okay, no. That's not the way, okay. If you're gonna do that, that's not the way. But once again, it was the thought of Helen that stopped you. You knew that it was not what she would have wanted. Of course it's not. Don't kill yourself, people. If that needed to be said. She would have wanted you to fight back and do everything possible to stop other people dying or having to go through the pain of losing their loved ones. Exactly. That's the way. It is the remembrance of this thought that now and once again gives you strength and resolve. With a lingering sense of terror from your nightmare, you get up, wash, and get dressed. You need to walk in to breathe fresh air. An old friend. Interesting. So, we're now fighting the disease. I have enough points to level up. I will probably, like I said, I assume that won't fuck anything up. If I wait until a check comes up on screen and then I pick it, surely that's fine, right? I'm still not sure what I want to get, though. I feel like my speechcraft is Again, the observation and speechcraft are really useful to not die, you know. But I'm also wondering, maybe I should just like go really hard into medicine. I mean, that's what we're doing now, right? We're fighting the disease, so I feel like there's probably surely going to be a lot more medicine checks in the future. But if we're neglecting fighting, maybe we should do some agility as well. I don't know. Everything I pick is wrong. It's always wrong. I don't know. Oh, but anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this. It's quite interesting. I'm very curious to see where this goes. Are we working for the great old ones now? Is that what's happening? Are they bankrolling me? If not, who the fuck are they? Like who? If the German isn't Nyarlathotep or some other great old one nonsense, then who the fuck is he? What clandestine organization could it be? That wasn't real. I don't think that was really a thing in Lovecraft stuff. So I'm very curious what group he is. If not some culty bullshit. Well, I guess he could just be in some cult. That's super possible. A cult / a great old one may have given us a suitcase full of money, which feels really not safe. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, come back and see me next time to see where the story goes. Goodbye!